Hello, hello. Happy Moon Day, Sun Night. It is the 24th of March as I'm recording this, and it is a moon hour. So hope everyone's surviving this void of a vortex, also known as eclipse season, the eclipse window. We're in between eclipses right now, and we just had spring equinox. Aries season, Sun enters Aries. That was on the 20th, which I still have to edit my video for that one. It's just been so much energy draining vibes recently. I feel like the closer Saturn gets to Neptune, and also Mercury and Venus creeping in from Aries, backing up, retrograding back into Pisces, there's just going to be this even more potent urge, stronger urge to just go inward and sleep and rest, and like fatigue is a strong signature of these times right now. Yeah, in between eclipses will do that to us, and especially with Neptune being at the anaretic degree of Pisces. The strongest expression of Pisces is at 29 degrees, the anaretic degree. And so, yeah, I just wanted to mention a couple things that's been going on, I guess. Like energetically, it's like this collective blanket lethargy and wanting to move forward, but like getting stuck in the uncertainty, having doubts, which is a very Piscean thing. But it is, the ask is for us to just trust and surrender and take advantage of the downtime to rest rather than like piling on more stuff to your schedule. Like sudden cancellations are a blessing in disguise. Like sudden layoffs are a blessing in disguise. Like all of these things that seem like a rejection are redirections, and there's just so many signatures of this encouragement to sit back, relax, take a nap, meditate, do something that doesn't require so much focus on like, is this productive? Am I going to earn X, Y, and Z, whether it's money or attention, or just doing things out of pure joy from the heart space. That is the goal with the North Node in Pisces and Neptune at the anaretic degree. And Neptune's going to move into Aries on the 30th, right after the solar eclipse in Aries. And the North Node of Neptune, I've mentioned this a few times. It's been a few months, but each planet has a north and south node, just like the moon has a north and south node. Like the moon's nodes are in Pisces and Virgo right now. Neptune's nodes are in Leo and Aquarius. So the north node of Neptune is in Leo, and the south node is in Aquarius. And so Mars moves back into Leo April 17th. It had already dipped into Leo earlier or later last year, like around November 3rd, but then it retrograded back at 6 degrees Leo, which is the United States North Node. And so it's been retrograde, and it went direct February 24th. It's still in Cancer, and it's going to stay in Cancer until April 17th. And so when it moves into Leo, Mars, the ruler of Aries, which is where Neptune will be in the sign of Neptune's North Node. So this is going to allow us to have even more drive and ambition to express ourselves creatively, and taking bolder steps in action toward our joys, what's fulfilling to us. And so these jobs that we're being laid off from, and these separations and these detachments that are happening are a blessing in disguise. It may not feel like it right now, but this detachment is going to allow us to come into our authenticity. And we just had Mars go through Cancer, and then Cancer is the home, the family unit. Mars is like a severing energy, and so these detachments, or these endings, which has been in a trine to all of the Pisces energies. Like Pisces energy is all about forgiveness and acceptance and endings, and so this flow of energy of accepting what has come to pass is allowing for more room for growth, for more growth in the areas of authentic expression. And Jupiter is in Gemini and will be moving into Cancer in June. And so come June, Jupiter in Cancer will be in a trine to the North Node in Pisces. And Jupiter is the ruler of Pisces. And so there's all this beautiful flow and synchronicity and this like orchestration of energy that is in our favor. It's pulling us toward a greater evolution of our soul's authenticity, like what our soul has been yearning for, like authentic individual expression. And so we won't want to hide. It'll be very difficult for us to hide behind any kind of facade and like trying to keep up with the daily grind or the routine of, you know, just going through the motions is only going to last for so long. So we have this opportunity now to make those decisions, make those changes, and accept those detachments as blessings. And these planets are going to retrograde. Like Jupiter's going to retrograde back into, Jupiter's actually going to stay in Cancer, but will retrograde. Uranus is going to enter Gemini, and Uranus moving into Gemini is another signature of this beautiful orchestration of pulling us into further evolution, because Gemini is the north node of Uranus. So when Uranus moves into Gemini, the north node of Uranus will be at, I want to say 15 degrees of Gemini. And so it's like that even stronger pull toward our soul's evolution. And Uranus being the god of the skies and the mental plane and, you know, our mental capacities, thinking, innovation, is going to be in a trine to Pluto and Aquarius. And so this major change, Pluto being the god of transformation, the underworld. And so we're going to the depths of our soul to make long-lasting changes. Like, it'll be another age of enlightenment that will sustain us for another thousands of years. And so Uranus moving into Gemini will retrograde back into Taurus for the last couple degrees, like I think it's like 26, 27 degrees, it'll retrograde back into Taurus, so right around that algal area. And then Neptune moving into Aries, which happens on the 30th, will retrograde back into Pisces. Let's see, when was that? Neptune retrogrades back into Pisces on July 4th, and then just goes back to 29 degrees and 22 minutes, goes direct on December 10th. And so we'll have these kind of retraction periods where we're given these opportunities to break free from these obligations that have gone on for too long, that are not in alignment with us. And so these are big changes that are happening, like in like this beautiful orchestration, like just this. Is it syncopation? Is that the right word? There is a syncopation to all these planets, which is wild and has never happened before. The way that these are all lining up. I mean, Neptune and Pluto have been in the sextile since about around the 1940s. And so Neptune and Pluto is that energy of being able to accept and transform, like whatever signs or elements that those planets are in. So when it was in Capricorn and Pisces, there was the agreement or the opportunity between achieving and conquering and, you know, fulfilling these ambitions through whether it was manifestation or illusions or fantasy. You know, Pisces is all about that dream world. Fantasy is also connected to like celebrities and that whole movies and theater. So there's that illusion of like the American dream. Whatever they project on the screen is what is considered to be like the American dream. And so what did we do? We like followed what we saw on TV. But now we're coming into Aries and Aquarius, which is going to be more innovative as far as sovereignty and independence, inventing new realities. Yeah, it's definitely going to be kind of like this synthesis of science and spirituality. So yeah, doing things differently, doing things with passion and excitement and enthusiasm, like trying things, experimenting, seeing where things go, you know, just like kind of like being that rocket launcher. And it's going to allow us to come into our own self-expression, our own individuality. But yeah, it's not going to be an easy adjustment. These are fast-moving energies that are taking place right now because Aries and Aquarius and Gemini are yang signs, extroverted signs. They like take action, and they don't really wait to feel into things. They don't wait to, you know, see how everyone else is doing before they make a decision. These are energies that go for it. And I mean, Gemini can be polarizing and not, I don't want to say spiteful, but you know, sometimes the energy of Gemini can make decisions based on what the polar opposite might be. So just like testing the waters to see, you know, this Gemini is totally like that, fuck around and find out kind of energy. And Aquarius is curious also, curious in a more experimentation kind of way, looking for solutions. And who else is moving into, yeah, Mars moving into Leo is, you know, action-oriented and impulsive and likes to have a good time, fire. So we have a lot of fast-moving energies, and it's gonna take a lot of adjusting. So it's important to, like, you know, schedule in downtime at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day to come back to yourself and recenter, so that you don't take all these external energies with you to sleep into the underworld, like, and let it infiltrate your psyche and your dreams. I mean, easier said than done, of course. But so yeah, I think that's all I wanted to mention. So it's totally normal, like this, yeah, void of a vortex that we're in between eclipse season. I mean, in between eclipses is the most liminal of liminal phases ever, and that's the beauty of this era too. Is like, you know, we're making things work with what we have. So it may not be, you know, high quality or, you know, fancy, whatever, but as long as the message gets out, that's the main point. So yeah, the 19th of March we had the Sun-Neptune conjunction at 29 degrees, and that was like a thinning of the veil where whatever's behind the illusions comes forth. And we're going to, this just happened the 19th, so we're only going to maybe like hear about these secrets being revealed 111 at the moment, in like the coming days or weeks, especially after the solar eclipse on the 29th. So that's, yeah, that one is going to be, I'll talk about that in a moment. What's today, the 24th? Yeah, I'm trying to see how I can like consolidate these insights, because the amount of energy that I have to do separate videos is waning the closer we get to the eclipse. And I just had my solar return. It was at 25 degrees and 34 minutes conjunct Mercury, and so the closer Saturn gets to this point, which will be like right around the eclipse, I think that day of, my energy will definitely feel restricted. So yeah, the 22nd we had our Venus Cazimi, which is when Venus and the Sun conjoin, like within 17 minutes, I want to say. And this is also another star point in the Venus star point pattern, where only 5 signs can create this Venus star point. It's Aries, Capricorn, Gemini, Libra, and Leo. So this one happened at 2 degrees Aries, and this was when Venus was retrograde. And so this is like the halfway point of the Venus retrograde, and by, I think I want to say the 29th, she will be visible in the sky as a morning star. And so this is symbolic and connected to the myth of Inanna and how she went into the underworld to save her sister, was it Ereshkigal? And was not successful. But she came back. She came back as a morning star renewed and reemerged with even more strength. So each time she goes retrograde, each time she goes into the underworld, she comes back with a stronger sense of self-worth and just a more potent, stronger sense of that feminine type energy. Heather Ensworth speaks much more eloquently about the story of Venus and the retrograde and the myth of Inanna. So it's a big deal. Like, I mean, if you look at the pattern, the star pattern of the Venus star points, it's very consistent. It's one of the most consistent patterns in our skies, that and Neptune, and of course the moon and the sun. And Neptune is considered to be the higher octave of Venus, and both of them, Neptune and Venus, are connected to creativity and imagination and harmony and beauty, and we can see these patterns in nature. So like flowers and shells and trees and like everything, even our own fingerprints, like the Fibonacci sequence, the formulas, the way they kind of create this balanced pattern of spirals, and you know, just this, it just works. The sacred geometry can be found everywhere in nature, in our fingerprints, in like everything. Like it just all works out beautifully, and it's choreographed, and that's kind of the way the universe is creating these transits and these patterns and these aspects for our own evolution. Like we are evolving at this particular rate for a reason, and now we're like moving a lot faster. Like time is moving faster, and so is our evolution. Our soul's evolution is ready to reach these insane heights that we've only dreamt of. So this is something to be excited about. When the sun, and then the sun will be conjoining Mercury retrograde at 4 degrees Aries on the 24th, and the Cazimis, like this is what a Cazimi is, when the sun is in conjunction with a particular planet within 17 degrees, it's considered to be receiving messages from the sun, which is also considered to be like the king of the skies. And so we're getting these messages from the king of the skies and transferring that message to carry on for the rest of the retrograde phase. So whenever the retrograde planet conjoins with the sun, that marks the halfway point of the retrograde phase. And so for the rest of the retrograde, this message that is received from the sun is carried through and passed on to all of the other planets that are connected to it. And Mercury will be re-entering Pisces and connecting with Neptune, the North Node, Saturn, and Venus in the sign of Pisces. And so this is going to be a heightened, like elevated time of like spirituality and connecting to these universal wisdoms and reshaping, dissolving any kind of boundaries and limitations. Like there's a strong pull to accept what is, accepting grief, letting go of the past, shedding layers of programming, and then also, on the same token, finding profound hope, divine love. And then with Saturn in a trine to Mars, Saturn in Pisces, trine Mars in Cancer, it can be like this divine force, this pull, like Saturn and Mars in a harmonious aspect to each other, and like both water signs, allows us to bring that fiery passion of Mars, like from the depths of our core, from, you know, Cancer is like your home, your ancestral lineage and where you've come from. And then Saturn in Pisces is that discipline, the acceptance and forgiveness, like this discipline, surrender to pursuing your dreams of connecting with your soul tribe, your soul family. So like it's like this, it's been considered to be like this divine GPS, so it's guiding you home. What else is going on? Mars in Cancer will also be squaring Chiron in Aries, and so this is going to happen on the 26th of March at 21 degrees, which is 21 is actually a Libra degree, so this is definitely going to be connected to relationships and where we've maybe been too people-pleasing, and self-sacrificing for the sake of whatever benefits we might have been receiving, or maybe if we were like trying to save face for fear of, you know, what they might say. And so this is going to be an aspect of tension that won't happen again. This is like the last square. Mars is direct, Chiron and Aries is direct. So this will be the last time in these particular signs that this will happen. And so this is going to be triggering, and yeah, there could be possible meltdowns, but these breakdowns can potentially bring about breakthroughs, like very overdue breakthroughs. And so during this time, it's a good idea to keep a routine of exercise where you're, you know, breaking a sweat, you're getting this energy out so that it's not pent up aggression and it doesn't explode in someone's face when you are triggered. I mean, there can be defensiveness and passive aggressiveness, you know, whether it's you or whoever you're in a conversation with, or you might witness it on the world stage, you know, drama like ensuing in the streets or whatever it might be. So just kind of watch out, and if you are able to diffuse a situation, then do it safely, but otherwise, you know, lay low and don't exacerbate the situation. Don't fan the flames. You know, you want to put the embers out. And I mean, Jupiter is still in Gemini, so we still have that opportunity to make light of the situation and look at things from a broader perspective and come at things like not so seriously, and just understand like things are so all over the place right now. Like the past is the past, and we're in a whole new era now, and we are moving forward. Like the things that have happened in the past, you know, as horrible as they most likely were, it's something to, you know, work through and forgive, and understand that whatever happened in the past wasn't because of anything you did. It was, if it was like some sort of violation, or, you know, any kind of hurt or grievance, it's up to that other person to work through it, you know. Not like you condone it, you know, it's not that, but, you know, you have a future, like a bright future to pay more attention to. So instead of letting these grievances hold you back from pursuing, you know, like these big dreams, let it go and allow universe to handle any kind of karmic situation that's been unprocessed. So hopefully that's helpful. Yeah, Venus re-enters Pisces on the 27th, joining Neptune at 29 degrees, and so this can be a beautiful energy to take advantage of for, you know, artistic endeavors and forgiving. Like if there's been any kind of grieving or loss or any sort of sadness that has been playing out, this is a time to really lean into this Venus-Neptune energy and channel it through creativity and writing or photography or painting or any kind of creative outlet, cooking, you know, where it gets you into this like zone of heart-centered creation, just pouring into your creativity, where you don't have to worry about anybody else's opinion about what you're creating. Like opting for that sort of escapism, that sort of like zone, as opposed to, you know, escaping through substances, you know, which is, it's like self-destructive. And then the solar eclipse on the 29th happens at 3:48 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that will be when the moon and the sun are at 8 degrees, well, 9 degrees and 0 minutes. Aries, and Mars will be at 22 degrees Cancer, and will be in a T-square with Chiron and Aries, and Black Moon Lilith in Libra. Mars T-squared to Chiron in Aries and Black Moon Lilith in Libra at 22 degrees. 22 is a Capricorn degree. So this could be connected to authorities and limitations, governments, traditions. Black Moon Lilith in Libra can be that shadow side of Libra, which is, you know, Libra's connected to relationships, and the shadow side of that can be like using people for what they can do for you, what they're able to offer you as far as material things like wealth or, you know, fame or whatever it might be, whatever kind of like house or security, like false sense of security. And Chiron in Aries is that insecurity about self-reliance, about independence, like being able to be out on your own. And with Mars, the ruler of Aries in the sign of Cancer, there's a breaking free from these narratives, from these old narratives that have not been serving us, and allowing us the ability to break free and know that we are able to create our own destiny. Like, this is a breaking free from codependence. You know, like Black Moon Lilith in Libra is like codependency, like fearing the fear of being alone, the insecurity of like not being received, or the lack of reciprocity in a relationship. And so all of these things can come up for review. And with the new moon, the lunar eclipse, this is a North Node lunar eclipse, and so the North Node being at 27 degrees Pisces, it's in a different sign, but it's still within, I think it's like 17 degrees from the lunation, the new moon, so that's still considered, it's a partial solar eclipse. And so with the moon and the sun in the sign of Aries, which is all about independence, it's fiery, it's entrepreneurial, like could be combative, it is about individuation. And at 9 degrees is connected to Sagittarius, which is about our belief systems and truth-seeking and exploring and going out on our own, like broadening our horizons and being daring and risk-taking. We have Venus and Mercury retrograde at the moment, so this is going to be a good time to research and collect the information on those next steps in order to take bold, aligned action when those planets go direct. But this is like it's an eclipse, and it is good energy to set those intentions if you're looking to release, like break away from something, and not necessarily plant new seeds for growth, you know, like new job or like new adventure in like where you're going to move, but releasing any kind of self-limiting beliefs or giving yourself more courage to have those difficult conversations. With Saturn in Pisces and a trine to Mars in Cancer, this is going to be a very kind of like stoic, very inward kind of energy, like not the kind of energy that is exactly celebratory, like being out and about amongst, you know, crowds and people. This is a very inward journey. I mean, we have so many planets in Aries and Pisces, like that threshold of, you know, it's like those birthing pains, like the contractions. And dahlias do the same thing. They expand and then they retract. They expand and retract. And so this is kind of what we're in the process of right now, is just like, you know, stepping out and then retracting, retreating. And so this is something to get used to for the next year or two until we fully step into these new signs. So it's okay if we're not feeling 100% certain about what's happening. We're not supposed to. We're not supposed to feel certain. Like, we are in this huge liminal void right now, and the best that we can do is trust that the universe is orchestrating these energies in our favor. Like, there's an image of like this weaver, like the spider woman, who's orchestrating all of these strings. There's another meme that I remember, like, there's order and chaos, like everything is being strung together in divine order, and we just have to trust that. It is this heroic surrender, and with heroic surrenders come heroic grace. So grace for yourself and grace for others, and just not holding on to any heaviness or resentment or criticisms, like letting it all go. And yeah, centering yourself, coming at things with so much joy, curiosity, lightheartedness. Jupiter will be at 15 degrees during the solar eclipse, which is a world point. So it's like a potent position that Jupiter is in, and Jupiter again is the ruler of our North Node. So we want to embody those Gemini traits of lightheartedness and humor and curiosity, and know that we are being shown and given bits of information that will bring us to this new age of enlightenment. Knowing how these shifts are affecting your chart, then hit me up, let me know. I'll be happy to dive into these energies with you. These are potent shifts that we're all experiencing. So yeah, until next time, stay centered, stay grounded. So much love, all the best, and hope to catch you on the next one.